tears in a testimony. Oh, you meant for a queen. It meant so unclean. My alabaster box.
I came not with pride, but with pain. Not with polish, but with tears.
What did I say yes to, or I don't know what I'm subscribed to? The terms and conditions, I don't know. Was there really fine print? Did we ever get fine print?
Uh,
Besides the scripture that you sent me in Luke, that basically is the fine print.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think I read that. I ain't read that first.
I
So
feel like I read it, but I feel like I didn't really understand the real interpretation of it
until I got into it.
until maybe just now. I mean, it's been years. And for the past couple of years, I've been still saying, what did I sign up for?
Seriously, because it was like I was fine. And I tell lady all the time, I said I was fine. I was fine with the cute little. I could wear my heels, do my
Mm.
hair real cute, do my makeup.
Mm-hmm.
I was fine with that. That cute churchy stuff.
Yes.
And then I came to DT and the heels came off and my feet was bare all the time.
Mm.
People look at me like, you don't never got on shoes. Sometimes I don't even got on socks. It just depends on the
Mm.
day.
I
So, but
see.
it's like, I don't know. It was like a whole shift. And I think it not even into a church that does deliverance, just into where God was taking me to, right? So like
Right.
I'm looking at my idea of who I want it to look like,
Mm.
like what I wanted to look like or what I thought following God looked like. And it didn't
Right.
look anything like this. Not spiritually, not physically, not emotionally, not mentally. It didn't look anything like this because it was like the minute I said yes, he held a mirror up and was like, okay,
Mm.
this is your first assignment. You.
Wow.
And I wasn't prepared for that. I wasn't prepared to face me. I'm like, you want me to deal with traumas? You want me to deal with
Yeah.
my anger? My anger protected me. What I need
That's
to deal with
heavy.
that for?
That's heavy.
Like, I don't want to deal with that. We're
That's
not even gonna
heavy.
touch that. Like, that is my defense mechanism. What am I supposed to do without my anger? So that was like one of the biggest things because I was mean. Pastor Joyce
I,
told me
I
all the
was mean
time.
too. I was real mean. My mouth was reckless, and it still can be. It takes a lot of God to like really clamp down on this. When I tell you my mouth is reckless,
Yeah.
not so much in, well, I did used to be a cusser. I used to cuss people. I used to be a cusser. Yeah, I could be crafty with it. I could be creative with it, flip it all around and everything. But I did. People probably don't think that. And when I stopped cursing, I was like, okay, I got to have something because, I got to protect myself. I got to be able to, like, in case people come at me, I have to be able to come back. Because, like you
Mhm.
said, it was like, that's my defense mechanism. I got to protect myself. And I'm not thinking, well, God can protect me, and I'm
Yeah.
thinking that I got to protect me. So I would be up at night coming up with all kinds of little smart comebacks. Girl, when I tell you, I spent a lot of time laying in my bed. If this one say that, oh yeah, then I'm gonna come up with this and I'm gonna say that. And that takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot out of you to be angry all the time or
Mhm.
to be ready to be on a defense. It takes a lot. And when I finally gave that to Christ, it was like a load off my back.
Mm.
Cause then it was like, I'm not saying I'm fully 1000% delivered, but it was like a load off because I'm like, you know what? I don't have to worry about doing this all the time. He can defend me. I don't need to defend myself. I don't need to fight back. Like, I'm from New York. I'm from the Bronx. So I'm always ready to, like, you come at me, I'm going to come right back at you. And with no fear, no fear, I'm going to come right back at you. But I think God had to break that down in me because that was almost like me saying, I can handle all of this myself. And I really couldn't. I really couldn't. I needed God to do that. I
And
needed God to do that. And that was
that's
hard
a
for me.
that's a hard process because it's
Girl,
like really letting control go of you.
girl.
Like you create this space, you create a world that you allow the people near you that you want to let near you. Like
Right.
you create this world that you can function in with your trauma, with your
Yes.
anger, what happened to you. what you came to terms with. You pack stuff down so you could push on that you
Yeah.
don't want to deal with. You never thought that you were going to touch again. Like, it
Nope.
happened to you. I survived it. I won't ever talk about it. I don't have to
Moving
think
on.
about
Yeah.
it. Yeah, like, I'm going to pack it down and it's going to push me forward. Every time it comes up, I'm going to pack it down and it's going to push me forward. And that's going to be the thing that says, they won't ever do this to me again.
Right.
They won't ever look at me like this again. Nobody will ever think that they could talk to me or treat me like this
Yep.
ever again. Because now I have this defense mechanism that says you can't get close to me unless you can get through this wall I put up.
Right.
The problem with that was the good people was like, I don't have to deal with that.
Right. Or
The
they didn't
one,
have the patience or time.
right. The demons was like, oh, I got you.
Right.
So it
The
looked
people who
like,
were just like you was
yeah,
okay with it because y'all shared the same toxicity. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
trauma
So
bond.
they was okay. Yeah, you're right. The good people was like, I don't have time or patience. She's not healed. She's still broken. I'm moving on. When she get herself together, then maybe I could come back. But the other people, because I had a lot of people around me that were the same way,
Yeah.
and it was like, girl, you good. Yeah, that's all right. And they make you think you fine. And you're
Mm-hmm.
really not. And it takes like, for me, I was like that because I saw my mom, she was always in church and she was a more or less a easygoing person. And I saw people talk to her certain kind of ways, treat her certain kind of ways that I didn't like. And I always thought to myself, I was like, oh, I'm not gonna be no pushover. I'm not gonna be nobody's doormat. Like, ain't nobody gonna talk to me like that. Ain't nobody gonna handle me like that because
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say something back. Because in my head, that wasn't humility. That was, you being treated bad or treated any kind of way. But it really, on her part, it really was humility. It was God fighting her battles. It was God covering her. But I wasn't mature enough or healed enough to even see that,
Yeah.
you know? And it takes God healing you. And something you said early, you said that you were okay with the church shoes and the dressing nice and doing your hair because that was the image of
Mm-hmm.
church that was acceptable. And that was the same thing for me. I was okay with that until God said, okay, well, I need you to come higher. There's more. That more, I see, I'm the type of person, I need to know the fine print. I need to know what's coming next. I need to know what to expect. And he wasn't giving me none of that.
He wasn't good. Let me, like, my first question when people invite me somewhere is, who's going to be there?
Girl.
Because I need to know if I want to be in company. Okay.
Yes.
I need to know if I need to plan an early exit. Like, I'm going to
Yes.
come, but I ain't going to stay. I'm going to bring, I'm going to come, I'm going to bring a gift. I might drink a cup of soda, talk a little bit, but I'm leaving after that.
You
Like,
good, because I'm not gonna come.
don't expect me to close the party out. That's if I come. Like,
Yeah.
that'd be my first question. Who gonna be there, first of all?
Yeah. Who all over
And
there?
what y'all gonna be doing? Especially if it's like something at somebody's house. If it's a bunch of drinking and smoking and they drinking, smoking in their house, I'm not
Mm-hmm.
going. Because I'm not gonna put myself in that environment.
Right.
Now, before it was like, okay, it was just who's gonna be there. So coming into God, it was the same way. It was like, what do you want me to do? And who do I have to deal with? You want me to forgive what? You
Yeah.
want me to do what? Oh, there's no way. There's no way I can't ever see me speaking to this person again. And then it was just like, it would be so much conviction, so much conviction. And I'm just like, I got to a point where I realized that on my worst day, when I hurt someone by something I said or I lashed
Mm.
out and I couldn't get their forgiveness, that made me think about
Wow.
how unforgiving I was to people. And I
Mm.
was like, I don't ever want to have a bad day as a person because we have our days because
Right.
we're people. We
We
can't
human.
always like have self-control, but there are times when we're so beat down that sometimes it don't, especially when God is working on us,
Yes.
that self-control, it works, but it doesn't work the way we think it's gonna work. You know, so it's just
Mm-hmm.
like, what happens when I have my day? Am I gonna want somebody to forgive me, or am I gonna want them to hold on to it? Like, you see
Right.
how she is, like, I don't want to change and somebody keeps defining me by who I was before while God is
Right. I
changing
just
me.
had that's so funny you said that. I just had that conversation with somebody because they were bringing up something in somebody's past. And I was like, ho, ho, ho. I was like, God has probably already forgiven them for that. That's something that happened before. You can't keep bringing up people's past and it's almost like you're holding them to that. They might not even be that person anymore. And I know for
Mhm.
me, I'm not that person who I was like 10 and 15 years ago who said all kind of hurtful stuff to people and who some of the people even now don't barely speak and I didn't forgot all about what happened. And so
Mhm.
like you said about unforgiveness, what made me also want to walk in forgiveness is because it was I forgive for me because it's too much to hold. It's just too
Yeah.
much to hold people in that place. And I'm like, I gotta let that go. I need to move in forgiveness because it stresses me out. It cripples me, and it makes you where you can't go further in God. And I know I want God to forgive me because I've done a whole host of things. And so
Right.
I think about that. And I think about, do I want other people holding me to who I was 15 years ago, holding me to
Right.
the things I said that I would never say now to the person who I was? Because I was cool and I was fun, but I wasn't really that nice. And I like to
Yes.
tell people now, I'm still not nice. I'm kind. I think you said that. I'm
I say
kind,
that
but I'm
all the
not
time.
nice. Yes.
I'm kind, but I'm not nice.
Yes.
Mm,
And I
I'm
don't think
kind.
I was that
I'm
kind before.
kind.
Yes, there's a difference. And I wasn't that
Mhm.
kind before. And so it took me looking at me and like, well, God opening up to me and saying, you know what? I can't hold other people to what they did because I don't want nobody holding me to what I did. You
Listen,
know, girl.
it's so crazy because I tell people all the time. I say if you get into God and you find that you're looking at other people to define your walk, like, oh, they're not doing this and they're supposed to be this, you walking wrong. Because if
Yeah.
you notice Jesus's whole ministry was about observing yourself.
Yep.
When you read the disciples, it doesn't say anything. It doesn't say anything about jump on your neighbor first. It's all about going
Nope.
into yourself first and checking yourself first. That's
And
what
making
the
sure you're
ministry
right.
is.
Yeah.
Right. I say if we as people of God, like in my mind, if we as people of God went into ourself first and we held that mirror up to ourselves, if our yes made a mirror to say, do you look like Christ?
Mm,
When that's our first yes, like, what do you look like? Because it's going to start to reflect. You're gonna, where is
yeah.
it? James 1 and 23. Um, it was talking about being hearers of the word,
And not
and also doers.
doers.
And if yeah, and if you're not, like the the uh the idea that I can read the word of God and it
Mm.
doesn't cause a change in me, did I really
You're
say
just
yes?
reading for fun.
Yeah,
Mm,
like you're learning the scriptures, but you're not applying them. So people,
right.
like, I look at so many people, they can quote all of these scriptures, but it caused no conviction. It
None.
caused no conviction. And I'm like, my yes immediately shifted something in me.
Mm-hmm.
When I wholeheartedly was like, God, I'm gonna do this with you this time for real.
Yep.
I'm gonna do this with you. I'm gonna walk with you. I'm gonna do what you say do. I want to become who you want me to become. The first thing I seen was a mirror, and it was like I had to face me. You're angry, you're abusive, you're
Mm-hmm.
raunchy, like,
Mm.
what do you say, you unladylike?
Yep.
I had to I
Not
had to look at
dainty.
myself. Right. Like, and I'm just like, I don't want to lose myself in my
Right.
yes. And that was my biggest thing. I don't want to lose myself in my yes. And slowly but surely, I lost me completely. I don't even resemble the person I was
But
three
maybe you
years
didn't
ago.
lose you. Maybe what happened is you really found the you that you was created to be. The you that you thought you
Right.
lost was who you created, who life created, who situations and circumstances created, who God never did create to begin with. So you're finding the true you.
Right. And that's what I had to realize because that
Mhm.
was my thinking then. Like
Yeah.
I'm gonna lose me. This
Yeah.
yes is going to wreck me because it's like when I said yes, every demon assigned to me stood up.
It got activated.
That's what it felt like.
Yep.
And I had to see that they didn't stand up. It exposed what was already in me. It exposed
Mm.
every demon I let have access to me.
Yep.
And it's just like, why am I being attacked? You're not being attacked. You're being cleansed. They're
Yep.
being attacked. And
Right.
because you identify with them still, it feels like you're under attack. The spirit is not attacking you. It's
You.
attacking those things that
That
he can't
flesh.
coincide
Yep.
with. Yeah. So
Right.
we feel like we're under attack. We're under attack. We're under attack. When really the spirits that sit on us are under attack.
Are.
And because we still identifying with those things, we're saying, "Oh, I'm under so much attack."
I'm going through
And I
this.
get, yeah.
But you know what it is also? Like you said, you're not under attack. Is that flesh that's being crucified? And because we're
Yes.
not used to, like the scripture says, you have to die daily. I used to not understand what that meant. Like, I was like, well, I feel like I'm good. I gave God a yes. Like, what you mean? I'm okay. But there's things that he has to still pull out and cut out and scrape out and get out. And so when that flesh is dying daily, you will feel like you under attack, like you going through, like you hear people say, oh, the enemy's really bothering me. No, that flesh is getting crucified. And we're not used to how that feels. We're not used to going through that because we've been okay with these demons that have been on us for a while. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
sometimes you don't even realize that you've given place to the enemy in certain aspects of your life. So we've gotten comfortable, and they like, well, if you don't bother me, I ain't gonna bother you. You know, we're coexisting. And when
Yes.
when you give God a true yes, and when he begins to do that work, now that symbiotic bond is now being broken. And now that's
Mhm.
painful to any them demons don't want it. And now we feel like, you're losing something. And it's funny that you
Mhm.
said you felt that you were going to lose yourself. And that was always my problem. I was like, I still want to be the same me. I don't want to, be somebody different. I don't want to lose who I really am. But then even recently, I'm like, well, who are you? You know what I mean? Who are
What are we
you?
doing?
Because like, okay, you got a smart mouth, you angry all the time, you not never happy, you always trying to do things or get things to make you happy. You want to have people around you, but then you push people away. So who really are you? And like I just
Mhm.
said, like maybe who we are is not who God wanted us to be to begin with. And so he's now making us. And the one thing I did want to say is that you said when you fully gave God your yes, I find that I've been giving God a yes over and over and over again. Sometimes it's not that one initial yes that you gave.
Yes.
You have to daily, constantly, like, okay, God, I'm giving
Mhm.
you another yes. You know what I mean? And so over the years, I've consistently like found that I have to be like, well, you know what, God? Yes again. Yes
Mhm.
again. Yes again. Because that first yes that I gave him years ago was not enough. You know what I mean? Because I found that I would get to a whole nother level and then I have to commit again. It's like
Yes.
being in a relationship. You wake up every morning, you have to make it up in your mind that you're gonna try this again, that you're gonna commit to this again. You know what I mean? And so
Mhm.
with God, sometimes I find that I wake up every day, okay, God, I'm committing to you again. I'm committing to this yes again. I'm giving you another yes. And it's hard. It's
Yeah.
hard out here when you're trying to do right.
Especially like that's why I'm so for a while I was like I don't want to like get attached or try and make friends, with people of God because I don't really mess with them like that. They you know,
Girl,
they the messiest folks. I don't really mess with them like that. I'm gonna get close up on them because I ain't trying to get hurt again
because
and
church people are messy.
ain't nobody gonna undo what the Lord did in me. Like
Mm-hmm.
and you said something so good that you gotta give the next yes.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it was like that first yes was so traumatizing for me
Mm-hmm.
because it wrecked me. It took so much. Like I felt like the minute I said yes, it started, he took shears to me and just started pruning. Take this,
Mm.
do this, da, 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 da. And it was so fast. And I'm like, okay, God, yes. Yeah, I want to look like you. I want to sound like you. I want to love like you, but I don't like your people. So I'll do everything but deal with your people. That was my problem with my first yes. When I got to like my fourth yes and it started moving into loving my brother being
Mm.
accountable for my brother, covering my brother. And I'm like, for what?
Wow.
they these people are insane. I love
They
you,
messy.
you know?
They
And it's
messy.
just like, yeah. And I was like, I don't want nothing to do with them. And I think out of all of the things, like the first yes was hard, like getting through it, but learning to forgive and let things go and allow God to fight for me and keep my
Hard.
mouth closed while
Hard.
that was the hardest yes for me because I was so used to doing this. Like,
Boxing.
no, I'm gonna
Yep.
smack you up real quick.
Yep.
I'm gonna hit you with my words. Like, I'm gonna hurt you how you hurt me, right? And then it's so crazy because it took being in a rocky marriage to learn how to hold my
Mm.
peace. Because I
Mm.
realized that when you truly, truly love someone how God loves,
Right.
it doesn't matter what they do. It's not going to change who you are by how they treat you. And I
Mm.
was just like, okay, I need to figure out how to transfer this to my whole life. I'm
Yeah.
not going to allow this person to change who I am by what they do, by what they say, because
Right.
I need to love them in spite of this. You know,
Right.
I'm not going to hurt them because my intention was never to hurt them.
To
So if
hurt.
they hurt
No.
me, I'm not going to turn around and hurt them because now they're changing my character
Who
based
you
off of
are,
their
yeah.
action. Yeah, like I don't want that. So that yes was so painful
Difficult.
and yes, because it pushed me into a place that said, you know, it doesn't matter what's happening. I'll serve you with my whole heart. I will love how you love through pain. And it got so painful. I felt like everybody that could come and say something to me crazy
Said crazy. Something
came and
crazy.
said something crazy. Either they was lying on me and I couldn't say nothing. My
Nothing.
lips
Well,
was
that
like,
was God training you
oh,
too. You told him,
yes,
I want to love like you love. I want to do this like you
yes,
said, do this, and I'm giving you this. He's like, okay, let's make sure all this other stuff is out of you. So I'm gonna
yes.
allow this to happen and twist that screw, and we're gonna see. We're gonna see what it looked like, and that's what it looked like. But you stood the test, right?
I did. That's because he held my lips like this, like he squoze
Mm,
my lips because
mm. And a
because
vice
inside,
grip wouldn't let that come out,
inside I was on fire. I said, "Oh
girl.
Lord, if you let these lips go, I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna give them the
Bat,
business.
bat, bat,
Like
bat, with the words.
I'm gonna give them the business." I remember being so mad and wanting to pick this person up and move them. And
Wow.
there was like I seen like this thing around them. I was angry. I was yelling. I was screaming. I was like, I'm just tired of this. I'm tired of being treated like this. I had reached a point where I couldn't take
Mm,
anymore. I was like, I
right.
can't take not another
You
person.
did.
I'm tired of these people, these y'all people. I ain't asked for this. You know, like I was going off and I went to pick this person up. Like in my
Wow.
mind, my strength can pick this person up and move them. That's how mad
Wow.
I was. And every time I went to walk towards them, there was this whole like, I can't even explain what was
Mm.
around this person. And I was just like, it like shook me out of the state I was in because I was in such awe that God would do something like that in the state I was in. I was like, you still gonna activate my spiritual eyes
Yes.
when I'm doing everything against what you would have me
Yes.
to do. And that woke me up to something so real that it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter what you think you're trying to do
No, because
because
it's
your
not about
gifts,
you.
right? And them gifts come without repentance, right?
They do, and they activate.
And I'm like, I'm either going to give them to you and use them for your glory or I'm going to use them for me. But what I'm not going to do is sit in between and teeter totter and choose when I'm going to use them for me and when I'm going to use them for you.
Right.
I don't.
So let me ask you this. Do you feel like almost like God bamboozled you? Like he called you, you gave him a yes, but he didn't tell you how deep this call was going to go or how many levels, he was going to require you to go up higher. Because
I
sometimes I do feel that way.
did. I did. I
Mm.
did feel bamboozled. I felt bamboozled because I didn't think anything was wrong with me. I thought everything was wrong with everybody
Mm.
else.
Yes.
That's why I
Yes.
felt bamboozled.
Yeah.
Because I was not the problem. I was the victim. And when
Mm.
he started taking me from victim to victor, he showed me
Yes.
that I actually was the problem and other
Mm.
people was my victim because I carried the oil.
And you had the
I was the oil.
responsibility.
Yes. And I was responsible for the people that he allowed to come in contact with me. And seeing like how many people that I mismanaged and mishandled and how many assignments I missed changing the dynamic of the relationship. It was
Mm.
so crazy. I just said, I was like, Lord, I'm so sorry. I'm so
Yep.
sorry. Please. It was like a reckoning because it was just like, here's you. Here's you. Here's the mirror. Don't look at anything else but you. When they treat you bad, look at you. Because it
Mm.
got to the point where, like, when people would come and they would say stuff to me, why does that affect me like that? Why does that make me angry? You
Yeah.
know, like, why is it
Why
triggering
are you
me?
triggered?
Yeah. And a lot of like more times than not, what they were saying held value to me in my mind. Like some part of me believed about myself what
What
they
they
said,
said.
but I didn't, agree with it. It was something that I fought or something that I didn't want to acknowledge. And now
Right.
that you saying it out loud and you saying it real loud, I got a problem with you because you're revealing my insecurities, even though you don't know it.
There
Because
you go.
the Lord is using you to expose what's in me. So now
Yes.
that I know that, and every time I have an interaction with somebody, that'd be my first question. Like, why was I triggered? Forget what
I
they're
was
saying.
upset.
Like,
Yeah.
why was I upset? What about what they said? Was it their tone? Like, was I offended or were they being offensive?
Right. And
You know?
sometimes we're offended even when people are not intentionally being offensive.
Mm-hmm.
And something you said by your insecurities. And I find like that was me a lot. I had a lot of insecurities and still do to some degree. And when people hit those or the enemy causes people to press on that, it makes you uncomfortable and it makes me like strike out. And now I'm asking God, well, reveal that to me so that I won't be triggered anymore, so that I can deal with those things. So that when the
Mm-hmm.
enemy uses somebody to come at me with those things, it won't have any effect anymore. Deal with those things so I
Hmm.
could get past it. Because we tend a lot of time, like I'm learning now to focus on what did God say about me?
Right.
Not what people saying about me or what I think about me. What did God say? Because what I think about me has come from, experiences, maybe bad experiences, you listening to people that didn't mean you any good. And so you sometimes pile all of that up, even if you say you don't believe it, you pile all of that up and you push it down. And every now and then it creeps out and it creeps out. And I'm learning now to focus on more what God said because that's who I'm trying to be, who God called me to be. And, like you said, he'll start pulling those things out. He'll start exposing that. He'll start showing you.
Mhm.
And when he shows you, you really have to look at that. You can't
Yeah.
just like, okay, God, thank you, and push that away. Like, I'm really starting to like look at that and say, okay, God, let's break this down. Why did
Mm-hmm.
I feel this way? Like, where did this come from? Was this even from me? Is this something I grabbed from somebody else? Where did this even come from? And I'm telling you, this walk with this yes has been like so mind blowing.
Yeah.
Even up until now. So, it's like back in the old days, I would think the older saints, I'd be like, oh, they achieved it, they made it, like they know who they are and they got it, because that's what was shown to us. It seemed like they had it. But I'm
Mm-hmm.
finding out it's a continuous walk. God is constantly revealing who he called you to be. You're
Right.
constantly like finding stuff about your stuff that you like, ooh, I didn't know that was still in there. Like, I thought I got rid of that. I thought
Right.
I dealt with that a long time ago. I still got
Mm-hmm.
like some mommy issues or some daddy issues. I thought, I handled that. And so it's like a constant, learning who you are every
Mm-hmm.
day. Every day in this walk is like for me at least, I feel like I'm constantly learning who I am. And I don't ever feel like I'll get comfortable or arrogant or proud enough to feel like I achieved it, I made it, I'm here.
I've
I
arrived.
started at the bottom, now I'm here. It's never gonna be like that. I'm just saying. It's never gonna be like that for me. I'ma always be feeling like, because even now I feel like, God, like, look where you brought me from. I don't even feel sometimes comfortable
Mm-hmm.
in the skin I'm in a spot. I don't feel comfortable, but I'm like, God, you put me here. You have a reason for this. Help me just not to make a mess of it.
Yeah.
Now that's like my prayer. God, don't let me make a mess of your people or whatever. Cause like you said, you was like, I want God, but I don't really want your people. I don't really want to deal with them because they cray cray and they
Mm-hmm.
messy. And with me being an introvert, I don't really like to be around a lot of people. So I'm like,
Exactly.
yeah, God, how you gonna have me ministering to people? I really want to talk to nobody.
I want to be in the house. You don't got a ministry
Yes,
that
I'll
I can't
pray.
minister from home.
Yeah. You know
Why I
what?
can't
Like
write
this
letters
platform, I can't
like
minister from
Paul?
Zoom. Let me do a video. I'll minister to people via video because I don't want to lay hands on, I don't, and it's not because I genuinely don't like people. It's just because it's an insecurity, like, how am I going to be received, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that exposes me. It's not really the person, it's more me. Like, how am I going to be received? Will they accept me? Will they accept this word from me, God? I don't, it's like
Mm.
almost like a Moses complex. Why me?
Yeah.
I'm not really there. There's other people you could use. There's people that's better, speak well, taller, all of the things. Why me? And sometimes God has to say, because I said so.
Right. And you're gonna
It's
do
because
it.
I said so.
You're gonna do it. You're gonna do it swiftly because we need to move on to the next thing.
Go
And
ahead.
like no, that's what I'm saying. That's how I feel like he'll be talking to me. Like you're gonna do it swiftly
Yeah.
because I need to move on to the next thing in you. And I
And we
just be
don't have a
like,
lot of
oh
time.
Lord. Yeah, I'm looking like looking around now, looking at how the world is. Like I'm
Girl.
realizing that my yes is not what I thought it was. My yes is probably one of the strongest weapons that I have in this walk. Because yes, it's submission. So,
Mm.
what's the scripture? Submit yourselves therefore to God, resist the devil
The
and he will
enemy.
flee.
Cleave unto
Yeah,
God and
right.
he'll flee from you.
Right. So I'm like, okay, so you're telling me if I submit and resist, then the things that cause me trouble, the things that bind me, the things that made me a slave to sin, that want to trick my mind and tell me that I'm still captive, those things, if I give my yes, then I can live in that freedom. I don't have to
Mm-hmm.
be subjective to what my mind tells me I am. I can actually become who God says I am. Like
Mm-hmm.
when you realize that your yes is the beginning of your authority, like it's the
Mm-hmm.
beginning of where your authority comes from. Because it's like, okay, I have given access to these things, whether it's through, bloodline, whether it's
Yep.
through, agreeing and not knowing, just like,
Yep.
or ignorance, like I've agreed to things, right?
No
With
idea.
these spirits. So now that I'm agreeing with God and it contrasts what I agreed to, now you got to mess with my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got to tell me that I'm less than and I don't deserve what God says I am, who God says I am. Now you're going to mess with my mind and tell me that, my voice is too small to be used by God. That,
Mm.
when I walk into a room, anxiety was bad for me.
Mm.
Bad, 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 bad. Everybody's staring at you. Don't nobody want to hear what you got to say.
That's how I
Imagine like, it was so bad that, like when I wrote a poem, I called 11 people before
mm.
I actually performed the piece because I needed
Mm-hmm.
to be validated before I got up on that stage and
Mm.
said what God gave me, right? To the point where, like, if people didn't like it, I would bury it. I
Mm.
would bury it.